shit. Well, thanks for joining me today. We're going to make a pallet out of plywood. Remember, don't do stupid shit. So there's a story to tell, and it involves these skateboard veneers. Made from used, recycled, broken skateboards. A couple of years ago I had an idea to make a chair out of resawn skateboard veneers. It looks a little bit like this. You have to excuse the mess and my array of Montana Gold spray cans. But here's a metal stackable chair seen all over schools and church halls all throughout the, I guess, the 1960s, 1970s, maybe even into the 80s. I salvaged 20 of them for a grand total of £10 a couple of years ago. And while tidying up, I found a few of the old veneer pieces that I put together to make that stackable, metal stackable chair. As you can see, glued up exactly as you would with a skateboard. 7 layers hard rock maple, glued together, put in a vacuum bag, and it comes out quite straight. There's not much warp in it, or twist, or rack, or whatever it is you call it. I had this crazy idea a while ago that I'd make a pallet using these strips of skateboard veneers. I didn't have enough of this material to actually make a 50% size pallet, which would have been perfect for a bedside table. Instead, what I thought I'd do is I'd buy a sheet of plywood, I'd cut it down and make a pallet out of plywood. That way I'll see if it's stable, I'll see if we get any twisting or racking or warping or whatever it's called when things don't stay square and straight and true. And the other reason why I thought it'd be a good idea, even though I think it could be stupid shit, was that I had a look on YouTube, and other than a couple of videos of mechanical processes with people placing pieces of wood into a jig, nailing them together to some cheesy 1980s elevator music, there wasn't actually a pallet video making, or a video making pallet, or a pallet making video, I think that's right, a pallet making video on YouTube. So I did a bit of research online and found a company that conveniently goes into all of the rather dull details, the specifications of how to construct a Euro pallet, or what's commonly known as an EPal. And very kindly on their website they have a cutting list and an assembly guide, which is what I'm going to be taking my reference from. Right, so what I've done is I've taken my 8 foot by 4 foot sheet of ply, 1220, 2440, whichever metric imperial system that you work in, and I've ripped that down into the individual components needed to make a pallet. On top of that, I've also ripped 4 pieces that I'm going to need to stick together, screw together, glue together, however fix together, that's going to make the risers. I think there's a particular name for them. I might insert it into the video here if I remember. So next job now is, I think there's 2 or 3 pieces that I need to rip down to 800, because a Euro pallet is 1220 by 800. I've got my information that I downloaded earlier on, and every part seems to have a name. So part number 1, there's 2 lower opening. Part number 2, 2 upper opening. Part number 3, 1 central board. Part number 4, there's 3 of tie bars, and they're what need cutting to 800mm. And then the bit that they use for the riser, on here it's called a block, but there is also a reference to it being called a pallet stud or a pallet skid, I'm not quite sure. One of the 2, pallet stud, pallet skid. I don't know if that makes sense, but or a block. So they say the hardest part of starting a YouTube channel is starting. Just get started.
Just get started.
Nine blocks laminated together, 4 sheets of ply. Pretty good, I think. I don't know if anybody's done anything this daft before, but I know what I'm going to turn this into. It's not just going to be a pallet. Right, I'm ready for assembly, and I'm not sure if I do this process now or if I wait until it's all put together. But one of the things that it mentions here is, one important detail about Euro pallets is they have chamfers on the 4 corners and beveled upper edges on the skids to assist their extraction. Well, I suppose it's time to put this thing together. Here goes. So when I started this, I had every intention of it just being an experiment to understand the process of putting a pallet together. I want to make some small half-size pallet coffee tables. I'm thinking getting maybe some pre-made legs, a toughened glass top, and I just really wanted to understand the process of how a pallet is put together before I started cutting up skateboards. Obviously it's not finished. I've just got to screw these top pieces down, but it kind of looks cool, and I'm thinking that I might put a round over on the edges. There's either a chamfer down here. These are supposed to be beveled / chamfered, whatever, as part of the EPal construction guidelines, but to be quite honest, I don't think things are looking too bad. So I'm going to call it a day for now, and we'll come back and attack it tomorrow. So as you can see, it didn't turn out too bad. Bearing in mind I didn't use any kind of framing squares or anything like that to assemble it, I'm actually only 3mm out from corner to corner, corner to corner, which I don't think is too bad. Hence thinking that maybe I get some toughened glass to go on the top, but who knows. So there you go, there you have it. A pallet made out of 18mm plywood. Hardwood plywood, I hasten to add. I think what I'm going to do now is get the router out and deal with those roundovers and chamfers and bevel things that are required with the regulations of an EPal or Euro pallet. Alright, I think I'm going to leave it there. Routing the edges over was okay by idea, and I don't think it looks too bad. The problem is I can't get right in because of the bearing, so I can't get all the way across. And bearing in mind I have a router / milling machine just there, I think what I might do is call this complete, and then I will revisit in the future, disassemble, route all the edges, put a coat of finish on it and put it all back together, and then we'll go down the route of possibly putting a toughened glass top on it and some nice industrial legs. Oops. I had a crazy idea. I've got something here that could improve the overall look of that pallet quite quickly. Bear with me. What do you reckon, hey? Tell me, does that look hot or what? Kind of a lilac-y, grey lilac-y colour. I don't know what else I've got in here. Well, I've got some kind of greeny, turquoisey colour, but I may whole load of yellow veneer in here, but for now there are no final sexy shots. It is what it is, and that is an EPal, almost made to specifications, out of 18mm ply, without actually having to go and buy any more tools, which I consider a success.